as companies. All right, so we move on to the next one. So let's have a word with Jereme J. Thomas, Vice President, Asia Pacific and Japan from Matrixx Software. He helps enable the digital commerce part of it from a telecom operator standpoint, which is helping consumers to improve the way they do commerce. Mr. Jereme.
Thanks.
All right, Jereme. So, Jereme, to start with, could you please give us a very quick overview about what does the company Matrixx does, and how actually are you helping operators to bridge the gap between the commerce and the digital commerce, and that is basically bringing the benefits to consumers here.
Okay, thanks. Matrixx aims up at a very specific problem in the telecoms operator BSS area around real-time transaction processing. And the birth of the company was timed with the arrival of the smartphone, which of course moved the challenge of looking after subscribers from the time of day they made telephone calls and when they send a message to dealing with an infrastructure now that has to be always on, because subscribers now, you've only got to walk around the show floor to see most people staring at their phones. So they're always on, they're always connected, they're always doing something, and the challenge that throws out for the operator is really how do they capture that behaviour and monetize that in a way that makes sense for their stakeholders, shareholders, but also gives the customer an experience that they enjoy.
Mm-hmm. So how different this experience is going to be from today's standpoint? Today, consumers have the money in their wallet, which is basically the balance that I have in case of prepaid scenarios. So this solution, which is digital commerce, bringing another angle to it from them to pay for the services that they can potentially buy from their operator.
Yeah.
So how is this going to be different?
Well, I think we're seeing consumers increasingly use the device for digital services. I mean, Uber is a great example. People routinely internet bank on their phone now. Ride services, Alipay, online shopping. All of these things require network connectivity, and they're kind of second nature services to most of us now. But I think somewhat ironically, the service provider hasn't really captured the ability to distribute their assets and their service that way to the consumer. Of course, we take connectivity to the network for granted, but that ability to buy and interact with my operator via a digital channel hasn't really been something that many operators have capitalised on. And of course, that channel is one that's been very attractive to a number of businesses. As I mentioned, the banking industry was really the first to capture the commercial benefits to them of reducing their storefront requirement, because they could move some of the distribution of their banking products and move the interactions with their customers online to great benefit, but also to customers. So, I mean, I think there's a fantastic opportunity for the operator to enable, really and truly enable that digital channel as a way to meet their customers and do business and interact with them.
Yeah, you brought up the point about how the banking industry has used this. Now today, we potentially do not even remember when did we last visited our bank, because most of the things that we do today are online. And over the years, we have been able to build a trust with our provider. And now we don't actually think maybe twice before making the transaction. Credit cards are still there. People, not everybody is so comfortable putting it on every platform which is not secure, tested, and all that. But you brought about another point about operators. They've been used to do things in a certain way. Now this one is going to change the way they do business. So this is changing the business model completely.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it used to be the case that we subscribed to a volume of telecom services that was pre-prescribed for us by way of the bundle or the package or the offer. And to get access to that bundle package offer, we'd walk into a store, we'd register, we'd provide our credentials over the desk. Someone would fill out a form that'd go into an order system, and I'd be provisioned as a subscriber. And largely speaking, other than the bill arriving in the post and whether or not it was accurate, the relationship or the communication between us, the customer-supplier relationship, was largely static. These days, with the consumer looking always at the device, there is an opportunity to kind of slice that relationship into value bundles that are obviously much closer aligned with the behaviour of the individual subscribers. But to do that, your customers really just want to buy and pay. They don't really want to visit a storefront anymore. Now, a lot of operators
that's true.
are down this journey.
The patience level of consumers have kind of gone down to a level where it's an impulse purchase now, and they expect everything else to behave in that fashion. That the moment I buy the stuff, it should be there in my for me to use, right?
Yeah, and for operators, and to be fair to them, it's not that they're not trying, or it's not that they don't understand this phenomenon. It's just that it's deceptively difficult.
Because there are too many parties involved in there?
There are a number of... If you think about it like answering a question for the subscriber, they ask you, how much? How much have I got? How much does it cost? Can I have it? Is it provisioned? Is it working? Just very simple questions like that to configure that answer on their behalf in a digital world requires a number of systems that talk to each other.
Okay.
And if the answer isn't instant, or worse still, if it isn't precise, you're losing that trust that banks spent many years building up to get people to use online channels as second nature. So
there is always there's already a trust with me and my service provider.
Yes.
Because I've been with the service provider for quite a long,
Yes.
right? I may not be transacting a very large volume of money with them,
Yes.
but there is a certain trust already.
Yes.
They know where I live, they know too many other,
Yes.
quite a lot of details, right?
Yes.
So it is an extension of other services that telcos are offering
Yes.
or are going to offer, which the solution would be able to, or digital commerce would be able to give them another method of paying for those services.
yes.
So what are the examples, or what are the maybe a couple of telco examples that you can take?
Yes.
Your customers
Okay.
who have experimented with this, or who are it has become a success case story for them.
Okay. So the shift, we're already well aware the shift has moved already from messages gone. Switched minutes is, in many markets, gone or going. And bandwidth is under pressure and price downward pressure. So the traditional relationship of minutes, messages and megabytes has really just come down to megabytes, and that's under price pressure going down. So unless the operators themselves can find a way to transact with their subscriber base, who, as you say, largely do trust them around those three products, their revenues are going to continue to be in decline, under margin pressure in the very least. So moving that relationship, the logical next extension is music and movies, and being able to distribute those. I mean, we're not going to subscribe to a movie every month for 2 years on a plan, and we're not going to go in the store to do that. So the obvious way to sell those much smaller value bundles to subscribers is through the storefront that they hold in their hand, which you sold them, and invariably subsidise them to them. So packaging up content, I think, is the logical next step.
Okay.
But also taking the traditional assets and breaking them down. Instead of a 2-year arrangement that I pay for each month, particularly in the emerging markets, in Asia, some of the larger markets, India as an example, Indonesia as an example, Manila, the majority of subscribers in the Philippines buy their data usage every single day.
Yeah.
They purchase every day.
And that too with the scratch cards rather than digital, right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
So once you're able to, as an operator, have the requisite relationship data, who the subscriber is, where they live, how they're going to pay, once you have that, you have a tremendous opportunity to serve them in a completely different way, but importantly in a way they want to be served, that they're used to being served by other services.
For markets like Philippines, you mentioned, right, where there is a trend of getting those, your data plans, or putting the money on the phone on a daily basis, because we are talking about predominantly prepaid markets, right? So what are the benefits? I see a very clear benefit from an operator standpoint. The moment I have a digital commerce platform where customers are able to load money using a digital platform, I don't really have to manage and print those scratch cards and make sure that those are available widespread across the country. All those things go away. So there's direct benefit to an operator besides that I provide a better consumer experience, through this platform.
Yeah.
So coming on to the consumer experiences, how, I mean, any example that you can share where the shift between the previous method and this method has given a, better customer experience to consumers there?
Yeah. We have a live customer experience with Telstra in Australia. They have 20 million customers. Not as large as China, but 20 million's still a lot.
Yeah.
And they moved their system stack to Matrixx to provide this real-time interactivity with the subscribers. And it was the very simple nature of moving an estimate of the customer's balance, because that was the best their systems could achieve for them, to a precise and accurate view of what the customer balance was, led to a 40% drop in inbound traffic to the call centre for billing-related inquiry. So the other very interesting thing that happened in that case was they moved the customers from an inaccurate view of the relationship to a real-time accurate view. That led to a shift in behaviour that was beneficial to the customer. They didn't have to call.
Of course.
And profitable for Telstra because they didn't have to handle that call.
Yeah.
But they've moved from a lack of trust relationship to an established trust relationship, and they took a $400 million spike in revenue through that channel. So the key building blocks, I think, for this digital economy that we're talking about for operators really is give an opportunity to give the customers what they want, which is a way to interact with you via a digital channel.
Correct, correct. There was a time when, for every small thing, how do I enable this, or, this network is not there in my phone, we used to make a call, right?
Yes.
And then operators realize, it's a lot of expense that I have to, bear. There's no additional revenue. It is, the basic stuff that I need to deal with it. And that's when they move to self-service platforms on the mobile phones, right?
Yes. I mean, everything that can be done, with some small exceptions around packaging up telecoms assets for subscribers to consume, everything that can be done has been done, including unlimited, free, bundled together, no charge, faster, bigger, better, brighter, new hands. So everything that has been done, everything that can be done has been done, except change the customer experience.
And that is the focus of
that is the opportunity.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Jereme.
Thank you.
I wish we could talk more, but thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now